Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Two Over Comics podcast. My name is Steve.
And I'm Mike.
And that's Mike doing our little countdown right there, a little Wayne's World homage. Is it
Mike,
homage or homage?
Shake your head when we do that. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Guys, your lips are moving. Oh my God, I want to watch Wayne's World. So it was funny. In another video, we're going to talk about something. I'll save the story for later if I remember it. Actually, I'm going to tell it right now. Anyway, spoiler alert, guys. We're going to do a video about the new Smash Bros. Character and another subject as far as video games go. But me and my kids, we were kind of discussing what characters they should introduce. And I thought it'd be funny if they just did like a Mike Myers, like either in Mortal Kombat or in Smash Brothers, where he just has all these different skins where he turns into like Cat in the Hat and Shrek, Austin Powers, and like Wayne. Like, it'd be kind of funny, I think. And so that made me think of it just now, the Wayne's World little intro at the beginning. Anyway, guys, it's Thursday, and the day after the new comic book day, after Marvel and DC have both put out their respected release dates. DC does Tuesday, and Marvel does Wednesday, and Thursday.
Marvel does Wednesdays when that book's on delayed by Diamond.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I know Marvel maybe does Wednesdays. I don't know. But anyway, we give you guys some time to read and digest the comics, and then a week after we pick out some gems out of the whole bunch, and we kind of give our 2 cents or maybe 3 cents. I don't know. With Patrick is here, we do our 3 cents, but today it's me and Mike, so we're doing our 2 cents on a couple of books. And every Thursday we do these videos. So if you guys hit that notification bell, you don't even have to worry about like you're remembering. Oh, is it Thursday? Is it Tuesday? What day is it? Yeah. We do the work for you. Just hit the notification bell. You subscribed anyway, and so I mean,
we basically come to you.
Yeah, so I mean, like, let us do the work for you. Let us help you. And so, anyway, guys, we're gonna get right to it. And Mike's gonna go first with his first book that he's reviewing.
So I got Marvel Zombies X. I'm doing both those books. I'm doing Marvel's X #5.
Okay.
There we go. So I've told you guys in the past episodes that I haven't really looked forward to most of the Marvel books coming out, or any books in general other than Turtles and Power Rangers. But this is the one miniseries or maxi series or whatever the hell you want to call it that I generally look forward to every week or every month that comes out. You know, it was delayed a little bit because of COVID. You know, it's understandable. But I absolutely love this book. I mean, I love Earth X. I love Paradise. You know, Universe X. I love it all.
We do that. We did a video right on Universe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we did. Yeah, and so it starts off with the remaining Avengers and FF bring David, the little kid that apparently has a cure. He wasn't changed over when when Reed, you know, let off the little bomb. The bomb, like the
Terrigen
the energy source thing. They wanted to empower the Earth to get.
Okay. Yep.
And that's what caused. You know, that's what caused. I do this because we all know that's not the case. The mutations, and for some reason, David didn't. You know, turn into a mutant with all powers and all that. So, he found his way to New York. You guys all know this because if you've been reading along. And he finally gets to the Baxter Building, and he has the remaining Baxter Avengers and Daredevil and Spider-Man and Sue Storm bringing him in to the Baxter Building, invincible, because all these mutated humans are trying to attack the Baxter Building. They're trying to get in because they're pissed off at Reed that they turned him into that, you know. And we also find out we have a new mysterious villain, who I think might be Norman Osborn because Ox is there with him, and Ox was with Norman Osborn because he's the president, and he's talking about taking back America, or he could be Donald Trump, you know, whatever. But you know, taking back, you know, America, just getting revenge on Reeve for causing them to turn into these hideous mutants that they've killed people, they've killed their families, you know. So that these guys are pissed and they want to try and get in and make Reed pay for it. So while in the Baxter Building, we have all the smartest minds there. We have, you know, Hank Pym. We have Iron Man, Tony Stark, who's in his Iron Man suit. Because as you guys know, from Earth X, he never gets out of his building. He's in this big robotic Iron Man building that we
Back
find
to
out.
his iron lung, almost like.
Basically, he is the Howard Hughes of the Earth X universe. So they kind of went full circle and made him, from the Earth X, they made him the Howard Hughes, which they kind of made him to be originally, when he was created. So blah blah blah. So they all study him. Beast is there too as well, and they're studying him. His blood and all that to see what the cure is. And when push comes to shove, they basically find nothing. Like why? Well, we don't know why he hasn't, turned to a mutant. We don't know why. There's nothing in his blood that says I'm the cure. And then David's like, guys, even if you can find a cure, can you give me powers? Because he wants to be a superhero like the heroes that he looks up to. We also find in this that the gods, like the Eternals and Thor and all them, like
Asgardians.
They're leaving Earth because they're like, they don't need us anymore. They have their own powers. They don't need us anymore. And Peter Parker's kind of going back through the motions of why should I be Spider-Man when everyone else has powers? So this is kind of the starting point for Peter to be like, I don't know, do I even make a difference anymore? Everyone has powers. Who needs to save them? And as you guys know from Earth X, he gives up being Spider-Man because why should I protect people when they can protect themselves? So the origins of that's kind of, festering inside of him now.
So does this book take place like in between, like the it kind of like inside Earth X, like while the whole thing's it's kind of like
so it's a prequel.
This is a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
So just like the Fear of the Walking Dead of the Earth X.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right, that makes sense.
And again, I absolutely love this book. I can't wait for it to come out each month. Spider-Man leaves because he needs to go home to his daughter, and all the heroes kind of fail for him because they know he just lost Mary Jane. Was it? Did he? No, she. I don't know if she mutated. I remember. Did she mutate or did she die because of his radioactive?
I think
I know that's the whole, that Spider-Man book in the future book, whatever it was. But
yeah, I think of Spider-Man Reign. I think I'm not sure. To be honest with you, Earth X and all those books bored the shit out of me, so I didn't really finish any of them besides Earth X, really. So I don't really know, to be honest with you.
But basically, she does die, and everyone knows who he is, so they fail for him. Like, hey, he's talking to the Black Widow. It's like, hey, Red, I'm sorry about Mary Jane. She tells him. But as he's leaving, he sees Iceman and Angel delivering food to people who can't get out of their house because they're afraid they're gonna get attacked, or they're not as powerful enough to defend themselves. We also have a scene where Luke Cage is talking to Kraven the Hunter, who's now a big lion, basically, big fucking lion. Saying, "Oh, they're coming for me. They're gonna let me out, and then we're gonna go attack the Baxter building." Saying, "We don't want to be saved. This is who we are now, basically, all the mutated humans." And then Nighthawk joins in because if you guys remember, Nighthawk was the new narrator of Universe X and Paradise X, so they kind of bringing him into the fold too. He's gonna join the police because he can see the future, so he'll be able to see the crimes before they happen, and hopefully that they can, again, stop the crimes before it happens.
Like Minority Report.
They didn't really that in Earth X that much, so this is kind of like a new story.
Wasn't Nightwatch? He was like a '90s character, right? They kind of like the Marvel's answer to Spawn, pretty much.
I think so. I thought he was always like he was from the Squadron Supreme too. I think.
Oh, is he? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah, I'm not sure. To be honest, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's been so long since I read that original Squadron Supreme, and to tell you the truth, that's kind of my, bore of a storyline to get through. So
Patrick would know.
Yeah. Damn you, Patrick, for being a nerd and doing your homework.
You know what? I guarantee he'll leave it in the comments. Or he'll be watching this, and you're the first comment you're going to see is actually Nightwatch was from the Bronze Age, and not the first iteration of Squadron Supreme, the third.
Yeah. So then Peter goes home to May, says, I'm going to do a better job being a better father to you. I haven't really been the best dad since, married your mother died. And, she's, oh, I understand. You've been out saving the world and all that, And then the book ends with those the mutated gang of people. They actually do break in, and then the heroes rush forward to protect David. So, again, a great book. The artwork, I love the artwork. I can't praise this book enough.
Sounds like a lot of bang for your buck. A lot of story in this book for one issue.
Which is rare for Marvel because you don't get that much anymore.
Rare for comics, period. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're finally listening to the fans because actually recently there's been a couple of books kind of like that where you get a lot more story. They kind of not going away from the decompressed storyline, story writing, but they're kind of like let's give some more stories, some more
Well, outside of Marvel and DC, the only books that I get that from, Boom and IDW of Power Rangers and Turtles and. I read some of the Transformers books too, and you're still getting a full story out of it.
Oh yeah,
It's a meaty story.
But yeah, so what do you give it out of 5?
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up, 5 out of 5 for me.
2 thumbs up, 5 out of 5. That's glowing praise. So I guess definitely check out Marvel's X. Oh, by the way, did you listen to the Marvel's podcast? They do an audio podcast, a story podcast, through Stitcher. And it's based on like the Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross, Marvel's storyline. It takes place during when Galactus comes to Earth and like Reed Richards has the Ultimate Nullifier and all that kind of thing. But it takes it's a perspective of like these like reporters. And Peter Parker's in it, and it's Phil Sheldon and Ben Urich. And it's basically it takes place in that time, but it's a different storyline where it's, I don't want to give too much away, but it's basically, they kind of accuse the Fantastic Four of staging the whole Galactus thing to kind of for publicity and but it's really, really good. I love, it's really, really great. I like it actually more than the original Marvel's storyline, to be honest with you.
Well, I think it is the anniversary. It was the anniversary. That's why they're kind of doing more Marvel stuff.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. If you're a fan of that, if you're a fan of Alex Ross and that stuff, I mean, definitely check it out. I mean,
anything of Alex Ross, even on the cover, is a beautiful piece. Right? That was the best thing about Dan Slott's run towards the end was the beautiful, beautiful Alex Ross art.
He's a machine for a guy who puts so much detail and he can really knock him out.
And that's monthly. He was doing those monthly books on Amazing. And then I think he's still doing the Captain America covers and the Hulk covers, the Immortal Hulk covers. So
and now he's doing Iron Man. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next book. Speaking of getting more bang for your buck, I'm gonna do Batman: The Joker War Zone. It's a one-shot basically, where it has a couple of different stories in it. Next week we're gonna get the end of the Joker War storyline, issue 100 of Batman, which I think Jorge Jimenez kind of let it slip by accident, say on Twitter that it's gonna be the last issue of Batman, which is that's kind of a bummer because I love Jorge Jimenez. And I really wish him and James Tynion have a longer run, a longer stretch. But you don't seem to see that much in comics anymore, unless like Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and that's it. So,
you got stuck with Bendis being on there for too long.
Oh yeah, I mean let's not get into that. So anyway, for this story, it's the thing about this book right here. It touches very little, a couple stories with the Joker storyline. There's 4 different stories in here by different writers. The first one's by James Tynion, and we kind of have he breaks him back into Arkham, where Bane's in there at the city of Bane. Bane gets locked up, and he's got hooked up to this big machine where it's like purging him basically of all the venom and the poison inside his body, something like that. And so eventually he's gonna go through withdrawals, and it's gonna be hell for him. And Joker breaks in, and Bane's kind of hanging there. He's like, I know you're there, just come out, And so Joker's kind of I put all this work in to make him a dramatic entrance, and once again, you ruin it, you spoil it. And so the whole time he puts the mask on Bane, and he's like, here, put this on because maybe someone will think you're scary if you put this mask on because everybody else just thinks you're a joke. And he just starts going on about about how at the end of Tom King's run, we had Bane take over the city, and even Joker's kind of along for the ride. All the villains running the city pretty much. And Joker goes on to tell him how disappointed he is in him, where he goes, you had the one ace up your sleeve you had was killing the one last parental figure that Batman had, which was Alfred. He goes, that could have broke him, psychologically, you could have finally drove him to the edge, and everybody would have sung your praises as one of the greatest villains of all time, but the Batman's ever faced. He goes, but what'd you do? He goes, you didn't even call him, you didn't Skype him, you didn't do anything. He goes, you did it in front of the kid. And he goes, so you completely wasted that death. And he goes, and I'll never forgive you for that. And he goes, like, he goes, I had such plans. He goes, you didn't even, like, break the kid like I did with the crowbar all those years ago. And he goes, and he goes, so now you're just a joke. And he goes, I'm never going to forget you did that. He goes, and just so you know, because you did that, one day I'm going to find you. He goes, and you're going to pay for it. And you're not going to know when it's going to come or where it's going to be, but I'm going to get you like that. And so, like, he just leaves, like, Bane like that pretty much. And so it's a pretty cool story. The next story is, what's his name? John Ridley, who's going to be writing that Batman storyline with Luke Fox as Batman. But it's supposed to be an Elseworld, something like that. So we do this story where we have Lucius Fox, who's still kind of dealing with the after effects of the Joker toxin. And Selena Kyle, in one of the storylines of the Joker War, ended up giving Lucius Fox all the money from Bruce Wayne's accounts, pretty much. And so they're kind of debating on whether or not to, like, what to do with the money. And Lucius Fox decides to keep it. He's like, we're going to keep it. Bruce Wayne gave it to us. And Luke Fox is like, no, that belongs to Bruce Wayne. I'm not too familiar with the Batwing character, so I don't know if Lucius Fox knows that Luke Fox is Batwing or not. Yeah. It kind of seems in this comic that he doesn't. So basically what happens is these clowns end up coming from, like, the city to, like, to do some clown stuff. And Luke Fox turns to the Batwing, kind of stops the whole thing. And then, like, Lucius Fox is like, this is why I don't think he knows that it's his son, because he pulls a gun on him and he's like, get out of here. I know what you are. And he's like, and he goes, I know what you are because I designed that suit. And I also have this gun right here can pierce that suit. So if you know it's good for you, get out of here. And so he takes off. The police come and they kind of, like, they're like, drop the weapon. And it kind of touches a little bit, like, not too much, but kind of almost kind of current events a little bit, pretty much, with the cop and like, like, and shoot first, like, ask questions later. But it ends up, like, the storyline pretty much, like, where, like, they decide that, because if we're going to do this, we have to become a family. So we're kind of establishing that, like, that John Ridley, Luke Fox Batman universe will be getting set up in the future. And that's kind of pretty much the theme of this book, pretty much. We have it's kind of like, I think we're realizing now that James Tynion has plans for 2021. Like, it almost reminds me of those, like, Wizard books pretty much back in the day where, like, you don't see much anymore where an entire, like book line, like Batman or Superman or Spider-Man, have, like, a plan. This is what the status quo is for the next, like, year or so. Like X-Men, like, you've seen them fight this, like, on cycle, but now, like, the public has zero tolerance, and that's going to be, like, the thing going forward. So we're kind of getting a theme of what's going to be happening in the Batman storylines for the next year. We have a short story with the Clown Hunter. We tell his origins, where he kind of becomes, like, this folk hero, pretty much. We're going to see what happens to him going forward. We deal with the aftermath of, like, Harley showing Batman where that special sanctuary she was for her and Harley, and it kind of affects their relationship. Well, Harley's not in it, but she's basically pretty much, it kind of seems like she's washing her hands of the whole Harley Ivy relationship, and she burns the place to the ground, and now she's calling herself I think Queen Ivy, something like that, whatever. I think that's the only stories in there. Oh, there's another story there too where we get Spoiler and Orphan, who was Cassie Kane Batgirl in there. They go on a quick little adventure. It's written by Joshua Williams, who does the Flash book. And the end of it, they say that there needs to be a symbol for everybody knows we're all on the same page and we're not going to give in to these clowns like that. So Spoiler has, like, a little bat symbol on her, and Cassie Kane.
Yeah, and she like a purple, like brown and purple, black and purple, like bat suit.
Well, yeah. Now, before she was back to her old Spoiler suit from back in the '90s, and Cassie Kane was in the Orphan costume, which kind of looked a little Ronin, a little bit, pretty much. Yeah. But at the end of the issue, Cassie Kane's back in her old Batgirl suit from No Man's Land, and Spoiler's in kind of like a mishmash of Spoiler and her Batgirl suit from New 52, not New 52, pre-New 52, and so. It kind of alludes to the fact, because Patrick talked about the last issue of Batgirl, but she didn't even touch upon. I don't even know why that the big thing of that issue was that Barbara Gordon quit being Batgirl and she's going back to being Oracle, I guess. And so I think we're going to see two Batgirl. I think we're going to see Cassie Kane and maybe even what's her name? Stephanie Brown, is that her name? Spoiler. Kind of like, maybe share duties as Batgirl, or Cassie Kane coming on full on Batgirl again. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty much kind of like a free comic book day type issue. You go a bunch of stories by a bunch of different writers, and kind of setting up the Batman franchise for the next year. So it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. I mean, it's not essential reading, but it's definitely a little primer for all you Bat fans for the next year. Yeah. I liked it. I'm not gonna really grade it because it's not. I don't think it's not a story and like that. It's kind of just like a little like a fluffer, as it were for next year. It's a fluffer too.
It sounds like a lot of great stories in it. So I mean, positive review. I think
it's a good time to be a Batman fan. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm gonna save the next book for last. I think it's the one.
You guys are reeling me in with the bad stuff, you and Patrick. So I think I'm gonna start maybe rereading this Joker storyline, even though I don't care about the Joker storyline. But
I don't think I mean, there's a lot of I'll get into a little bit of my next book. Well, let's go on to your next book, Mike. What are you reading?
So I'm doing sticking with the post-apocalyptic theme. And Marvels. I'm gonna do Marvel Zombies #2. Marvels Zombies: A Resurrection #2. Mouthful again. So
You
this
get paid by the word.
So there's quite a time gap that happens between the first issue and the second issue. So this issue opens up with Peter having a dream of when the Fantastic Four return back to Earth. He gets knocked back into his dream. He's all battle damaged and whatnot, and you see Sue Storm biting into Franklin's neck. Peter wakes up. He's like, "Oh God, bad dream, guys." And we see him with Blade and Valerie and Franklin, all on like this super intelligent.
It's a mod squad.
Yeah. British nannies, Sentinel type thing.
It's been a while since we talked a lot. I am remembering now that the Sentinel that's it's powered by Silver Surfer's blood or something like that, or
I think so. But they didn't really touch upon that in this, so it was like I think Val kind of redesigned whatever the hell it is she did it to this zombie. Sentinel. And we so they're flying to so we find out that Val thinks that she can cure her family and the rest of the world. So they're flying off to where are they flying off to? Phalanx Wall. I don't know what the hell that is. It's a new thing now where basically Viv, Vision's daughter, and Machine Man kind of run this not secret, but like this stronghold of robotic robots and humans that kind of turn themselves into this so they can be detected from the zombies.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of like a robotic AI versus the flesh, the zombies and whatnot. So as they're flying into the city, they get attacked by the zombie Alpha Flight, and the Sentinel gets shot down. The Sentinel loses an arm, almost gets basically destroyed. And as they crash land in front of the city, they're called, where is it on here? My notes are really well written and looks like anyways, their AI army comes out and tries to defend the city, and they mistake, Peter and the crew as zombies because they have flesh. So they're like, attack the flesh. Because basically, I think it's almost like it's the zombies versus the army, the robotic army that, who's going to have control of the Earth after this is all said and done. And once, basically the last strength of the Sentinel destroys the robotic army that comes out to try and, stop them. And Viv and Machine Man stop them from being killed, Peter and all them. And they come to the city, and then they get captured by Viv and them, trying to turn them into, machines themselves. So it's kind of a back and forth issue, but then they get, attacked by zombies, then they get saved by the robotic army, but they're also being attacked by the robotic army because they have the flesh and all that jazz.
And an emotional roller coaster.
Basically. So once they're inside, they get captured by Viv and all them saying, "Oh, Val's like, how can you do this to us?" Remember Miles, because Miles and Forge get killed when they go off to they save some people in Brooklyn or do some mission in Brooklyn, and they get killed. And basically, where is it? I'm gonna get it here, I swear. So basically, the remaining heroes are transmode virus that basically makes them into robots, and So the Punisher's there. He gets transformed into one of those, weird robot things and whatnot. And
So are they? Well, so this. Oh, see, when you say the place they went to, what'd you say the name of the place was called?
it's called Phalanx Wall. Phalanx.
Oh, the Phalanx. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're a long-standing X-Men character. That's where Doug Law comes from and stuff like that. Okay, I thought you were talking about too. Yeah.
So they basically get turned into the Deadlock type things and whatnot.
Yeah, the whole time I'm like, this sounds awfully familiar. I can't think of what it is.
I thought it was new because I never heard of it before. So I'm like, what the hell? Maybe it's just a new made-up city for the.
Oh, I know Phalanx. Yeah.
Either protecting the remaining humans or just protecting themselves.
Yeah, they're like a hive mind pretty much when it comes to like almost like a techno-organic virus pretty much where they transform like flesh matter, organic matter into techno-organic matter pretty much. Yeah, okay, that's cool. All right, I like that.
Yeah, so that they get the Viv and Machine Man trying to turn them into that to protect them from from being killed, and lo and behold, once again, the Fortress gets attacked by zombie Hulks. She-Hulk, Hulk, and all them, and basically at the same time, Val's Sentinel is being repaired by the robot army, and basically they get away again. So it's like I said, it's back and forth roller coaster ride, and it ends with them going off to Atlantis.
This book sounds great. I haven't read an issue yet. I was going to check it out after the last review, but every time you review it, it sounds awesome. I'd love to see just an animated series by Gendy Tarnowski of this.
I actually prefer this one over Kirkman zombies, Marvel zombies.
And I'm sure I
fully like the idea that everyone was zombified. I know that was the whole idea of the book when it first came out, but you would think that there'd still be some type of resistance.
Yep.
And that people would have been. I mean, I know if you read the Marvel Zombies Army of Darkness book that came out, there was a last page at the end of that where it was just the remaining superheroes go off and try and defend against the more powerful superheroes. So there was that, but I don't think that was really canon, so to speak. That was just a one-shot thing.
I say Disney Plus get some balls and a great animator and make this a show. It sounds pretty good. It sounds like something I would watch weekly. It
would be awesome to do that. I mean, well, the only problem is I think the whole zombie thing is kind of not as popular as it used to be anymore. The Walking Dead is coming to an end, but yet again, I think Fear of the Walking Dead is still going on, and yet there's another spin-off Walking Dead show coming on as well.
You know what revived that whole concept though? Slapping a Marvel logo on it. That would definitely add a little reinvigorating juice to it. I think if you did that. Yeah, it sounds great. I'm gonna check this book out.
Honestly, what drew me to it was the fact that Spider-Man was leading the Resistance, basically, and the reason why Viv asked, why are you bringing the kids to the Galactus Hive?
Yeah,
because they feel like they can, save the humans. Like I want to have hope. So it seems like everyone in Peter's world, just like the original Marvel zombies, is dead.
It sounds like nothing but fun, action pack, and it sounds metal as fuck. And I definitely I'm gonna check. I have to check this out. Is this a miniseries?
It's another book that I've looked forward to every week, every month that it comes out. I mean,
is it a miniseries or?
What's that?
Is it a miniseries or?
I think it's just a 4-part story.
Okay, I'm sure.
I thought it was like a 6-part, but when I saw it, I said part 2 of 4. I'm like, nah, they must have condensed it to.
I'm sure they'll come out the Marvel zombies, Inception or Marvel zombies.
Oh, yeah, there'll be like a shitload of spin-offs from this, just like the original Marvel zombies.
Yeah, Marvel Zombie Harder. Or something.
Yeah.
But awesome. I don't think I need to ask you what your score is. I think it's gonna be a 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely check it out, guys.
And mine's a little biased because of Spider-Man's in it, and it's not like a shitty Spider-Man story like that J.J. Adams Spider-Man story.
There was actually somebody, I think it was like CBR or somebody did a Screen Rant, did a list of how zombie Peter Parker is probably like the most truest to the core Peter Parker out of every iteration of Peter Parker. I'll have to look that up, something like that. But yeah, zombie Peter Parker is pretty cool. The whole concept's pretty cool. Too bad Marvel and Robert Kirkman can't get along and make some more books, but it is what it is, I guess. The next book we're gonna do, Patrick's not here, so I can do the Batman books. We're going to do Batman, Three Jokers, number 2, written by Jeff Johns and art by Jason Fabik. This book, if you guys the last issue, where we leave off the last issue, I can't think of it. Go back and watch the episode, and we'll let you know what happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, in this issue right now, we
We're
basically
old, we forget this stuff.
we start the issue off, which what I perceived. I don't know if it was meant that way or if I just something I'm reading into, but obviously there's a lot of taken from the Killing Joke in this book as far as the art goes and the feeling of the book. We start the book off where there's this suburban family, pretty much a mother and a son, and Joker comes home. Basically, he's like, "Hey, honey, I'm home," that kind of thing. And the mother's obviously like very nervous wreck, kind of like afraid to say the wrong thing. The kid doesn't want to come downstairs. He's like, "Why can't we just run away from this? Like, why have to stay?" And the mother's like, "Listen, let's just go downstairs and eat, whatever." And so they're eating, and it's like this nice little family dinner, and all of a sudden you hear "What are you doing?" And just the Joker sitting there at a table, like eating a can of beans, something like that. It's like having dinner. And I think what this is, it's a callback to, because this Joker right here who's having this fantasy is the Joker from the Killing Joke. It's that I don't know, universe, whatever you call him, version of the Joker. And so the Joker who's talking to him actually says, like, you can't go back to that. He goes, all that matters is the Batman. And he's like, he goes, none of this is real, okay? And so we end up finding out that the two Jokers that are left right now, the one's the Killing Joke Joker, and the other one is the original Joker from like the 30s, golden age, original Joker, pretty much.
Oh yeah, sorry. So is this all in one universe, or is this is this like a?
I think the thing is, it's supposed to take place in continuity, but the thing is, this is clearly it was written like right after a sequel to the Dark Side War during 52. So it's like it almost feels like an Elseworld tale. I can't really tell because like Red Hood's in it and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm kind of putting it as my headcanon as it's happening in real time, pretty much. But who knows where when all said and done where it takes place. Yeah. So we have basically Batman and Barbara Gordon investigating another murder of a judge, something like that. And it's basically Joker leaving this trail for Batman to find because he's a Joker. Obviously, he wants to play the game with them. And so Barbara, the events of the last issue, Jason Todd kills the Joker that killed him, shoots him in the head. And so Barbara's like, we need you to talk to Jason right now because he's a criminal. He killed somebody. And Batman's kind of avoiding it, being listen, you don't know what he's been through, blah, blah, blah. You don't understand. He's brain damaged, blah, blah, blah. And so Barbara Gordon's like, it doesn't matter. And so they end up, Red Hood ends up doing his own investigation thing, ended up finding out where the Jokers are. He goes to this, it seems like a YMCA thing with just a whole pool just filled of dead bodies who he thinks are dead, but they're actually they were poisoned in the Joker acid bath, whatever. So they're almost like prototype Jokers of these brain dead, half dead, almost zombie type, people who are just laying there dead. And so Jason doesn't get taken by surprise. He wakes up naked, tied up to a chair, and there's two Jokers pretty much. And they talk to him pretty much how the Joker explains, the original Joker explains to him, he goes, I'm the one who was there, but I'm the first Joker. I was the first Joker. I was running things before Batman came. And Jason's like, I don't care who you are. I don't care which one you are. You're all just a clown to me. And so they end up just putting the helmet on and kind of just taunting Jason and telling him, see, the thing is the reason why we knew you survived and when I beat you half to death, whatever, the whole thing is we thought you'd be a good candidate to be a Joker because we thought and so the whole thing is you think he's going to be set up to be the Joker. And then when the conversation is over, they're like, but you've proven to be nothing but a letdown pretty much. So you're not worthy of being a Joker. And so they kind of just beat the shit out of him a little bit. Not to the extent where they did in Death of the Family, pretty much. And so Batman and Batgirl end up coming there and seeing what happened. And so they take Jason home, and obviously Jason Todd has kind of a little mini meltdown where he's kind of saying no, of course I'm not all right. None of you ever asked me if I was okay. I came back and you guys kind of all judged me for being this psycho who this lethal protector type guy. None of you ever asked how I was or if you can go looking for me when I was gone, when you found out I was gone. It's it's basically kind of venting all this inward frustration he's had towards the Bat family this whole time. And so if you guys saw the spoilers, pretty much Batgirl, Barbara and Jason are talking, stuff like that, and she kind of like, he's like, he finally opens up to her, and she opens up to him pretty much, and they share like this like kiss and stuff like that, and Barbara's like, just that we shouldn't have done that. That was nothing, and like, don't read too much into that. Like, it was just a moment, whatever. And so we deal with that, and then Batman's out. He ends up while he's investigating the whole Judge murder, he finds out that there was there's a prints on the bat with a knife that killed the guy, and it's Joe Chill's, the guy who killed Bruce Wayne's parents. And so he goes to the prison. Joe Chill's not there. We find out that Joe Chill is actually dying of cancer. And the last panel, we find out that Joker has the Joe Chill, and he has a camera. He's like, "You're finally gonna explain why you actually killed the Waynes." And so I don't know what that's going to entail. If we're going to kind of delve into the whole like Jack Napier, like being a Joe Chill becoming a Joker, I'm not sure, whatever. But the book is it sounds like hokey, but there's a lot taken from like the Alan Moore like type like writing style as far as Jeff Johns goes, and of course Jason Fabek's really aping Brian Boland with the art. But and the thing is, it's such like a stupid like Silver Age like type concept with a bunch of different variations of the Joker, but it's done in such a serious like like noir, like hardcore, like dark Batman storyline, which is really, really great. I like that someone's doing something with Jason right now, because Scott Lobdell's kind of had him like, held hostage for the past 10 years in like Red Hood and the Outlaws. And the only person who really did anything with him besides Scott Lobdell was Judd Winnick in the original storyline.
That was a great storyline.
It was, and a great movie too. But yeah, the book's really good. I really, with the art, Jason Fabek, obviously he does a great, like, as far as the pencils goes and the storytelling. But the colors, as far as him, I talk about the original Joker, like, the one that predates like Batman. It's so hard to like, differentiate. I can't say the word, the Jokers, because it's just got a purple suit and green hair. Yeah. But there's little things that he does. We're adding like a little like dark eyeliner around him and just changing the hue of the purple, which like just like, oh, okay, that's the Joker I know from like the Bob Kane, like, like drawn storylines with that. And yeah, I mean, the book's really, I cannot wait. I'm anticipating every issue that comes out. You're getting a lot of pages, and it's a really great, like, like perfectly like written and like drawn Batman storyline, which I'm kind of like mad that I said after Jeff Johns finished when he went to Rebirth, pretty much, it's like we could have got like a Jeff Johns run of Batman rather than like Tom King run of Batman, because it would have been so good. I'm really enjoying the story. Like I said, it's a really hokey setup. But like, and
it seems like that. I'm personally gonna wait till all 4 books or how many books are out, so I can read the full story. Because it seems for me like, is it continuity? Is it is it not? Is it is it really gonna end up with Red Hood is having this, all the characters having like this weird like, I don't know, like there's still one Joker, but they're just I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's confusing. So
it is, and honestly, I mean, that's another conversation we can have. Like, it's like, does continuity even matter at this point anymore? As far as both Marvel and DC, it seems like a lot of times they're kind of cherry picking as far as what counts anyway. Yeah. I think nowadays, I think I mentioned this with the last episode with Patrick. It kind of like your headcanon is the only thing that really matters nowadays with these books. Like for me, Batman, like like Grant Morrison did kind of a thing where he said like, everything matters. Like anything that was like stupid was kind of like an acid trip from Batman, like testing himself on poisons like that. For me, it's like it all happened. Like, Batman's, the Killing Jokes happened, like, No Man's Land's happened, but also like Vampire Batman's happened. And like, you just kind of like pick what, like how it works in your head, or just accept like it's comics, like it happened, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, Batman, I give this book, I give it a 5 out of 5, honestly. I mean, like, it's just so well drawn, so well written. I mean, it kind of sucks that Jeff Johns is kind of getting, I don't know, all these allegations nowadays. I don't know what's going on with him, if you'll see any more comic book work coming out of him in the near future. But I mean, it's really well. I mean, I do think a lot of times Jeff Johns gets a little overhyped and a little too much praise, but I mean, I don't know. This book's really good, and he's really bringing the goods.
I think some of his yesteryear books were better, like his Green Lantern stuff, definitely his Teen Titans stuff. So
a young, hungry Jeff Johns is pretty good. Yeah. I didn't like some of his later stuff. I liked his Aquaman when doing New 52. But other than that, I mean, Shazam hasn't been that great. I didn't really like Doomsday Clock. But he's really bringing the goods on this book right here, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, that's my review of Three Jokers. Honestly, I mean, the whole I wish this book was 10 Jokers, because I'm really loving. I know Joker's oversaturated right now.
Yeah,
but I mean,
let's not push it with 10 Joker nonsense. You lost me on that.
if you're gonna do 3 Jokers, why not 20 Jokers? Why not every Joker from every iteration ever? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's pretty much all I got for that book, and I don't have any more books. Do you?
No, I mean, all I can say is that between you and Patrick, you kind of made me Batman fans again. I'm kind of excited to get back in.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna wait till, the Three Joker story arc is done with. How many? I don't know if it's gonna be 3 or 4 books, because for me, like it seems really confusing on, like I said, whether it was continuity, whether they're just imagining all this, or they're having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So I'll wait, but I'm definitely interested in reading this.
It's a long read. I mean, each issue is, I think, it's like over 40 pages, something like that. So I mean, it's definitely something. It's hard to explain unless you're actually reading it.
I can finish that in one poop. Book in one poop.
I dare you. Prove it.
Oh, we will. If we could do a video of me pooping while reading those books, I'll finish it.
I don't know if we get monetized for that. I'm not sure. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for our episode. Remember, if you guys have any suggestions of any books you guys want us to read that are coming out, I was going to read Shang-Chi, but I decided, that's okay. Avengers I normally read, but I decided I wasn't really in an Avengers mood, really. I was more of a Batman.
That's another book that you need to, that current storyline, I think you need to read.
Avengers or?
One full run.
Oh, yeah. I
read part 1, and then it was delayed, and I kind of lost interest. No fault of anyone's own because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna wait till that whole story arc's finished, and then I'll reread it.
For Avengers, you're talking about?
Yeah, the current Moon Knight storyline.
I feel like I'm the only person I know enjoying Jason Aaron's Avengers. Every time I talk about
that's another book that you kind of got me excited for. That I'm gonna start rereading myself too.
I agree. It did start off
with the Moon Knight one, and it was great. And then I tried rereading the second one, but there was so much of a time gap because of COVID that I kind of lost interest. So I'll wait till it's all done to reread it.
I think it's a really fun Marvel book, because it takes a lot of different flavors from the Marvel universe. I really like it a lot, but I feel a lot of times people are like, just, when is Jason Aaron leaving the book? And it's like, I don't understand what everybody's problem is, but I digress. So that's going to do it for our episode, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys. Remember to give us a thumbs up. If you have any books you want us to read, let us know in the comments, like always. And always support the things you like and give us a thumbs up. And if you want to give us a thumbs down because Patrick's not on this video, we understand.
I'm personally going to give us a thumbs down because Patrick's not here.
Give it a thumbs down. It's fine. Like we'll bite the bullet. But in future episodes, make sure you give us a thumbs up because these videos come out every Thursday. And that's going to do it, I think, guys. I got nothing else to say. That's the first.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.